Hey Internet, it's Jason here from Godlike Productions again. I have promised for quite some time that I will get back to some VSIG programming tutorials, and today is the day. So we're going to keep going on our dub delay that I started on last time, and if you haven't watched that, I'll put a link up there or yeah, somewhere. There'll be a link somewhere that you can click on to watch the old tutorial. So I would very strongly recommend that you watch that before you jump in here, because otherwise you're going to probably get lost. Okay, I'm going to switch around, and this is where we left things before. So just a summary so we know what we're doing. We have got these mix blocks that mix how much of the dub delay comes back around. We have our delays in here. We have a wet dry knob, and then we had a low frequency. We have the note that feeds the this is a length of note. So this is whether it's half note, quarter note, eighth note, etc. So this is how long the delay is. And then we've got a whole bunch of knobs down here for the, this is the type for the, this again goes back to the note, so whether it's a dotted note, triplet, for example. And then we had a tone control, if we remember properly. So these tones here comes back from the output, so the delay feeds over to our mix, and then we've got the obligatory output, of course, going to our outputs, and then we have this output also feeds back through this tone control here, and then the tone control feeds back into the inputs again. It feeds back through via these compressors. We put these compressors in last time to control that overall volume, because what we don't want to do is we don't want that, we want some way to be able to control the amount of feedback that's coming back and the volume of that. And then we have a whole bunch of knobs down here, so compressor knobs, and then these, where are we? These ones down here are for the tone control. And we had three menu pages for this, a couple little other bits and pieces that we need to do. Right, so what we're going to do today is that we're going to change the tone control, because I used this a little bit and didn't like how the tone control works. So we're going to replace the tone control with an EQ, which is what we were striving to do initially. So it's going to be parametric band. We are going to then set up controls for those, and that, yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. So we're going to go back into this and we're going to keep going. Hopefully I don't get lost. Right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we had these tone controls, so we're going to replace them with some EQs. So let's go up to the filter, and down here we've got an EQ. Now we want these to be controllable independently, so let's bring these EQs out. Okay, so they're going to be basically one for the left and one for the right. Okay, and these, so if you hold down Alt and you press a button, you can see what feeds them or what they are feeding. So tone 1 was fed from this output. So let's take that output down, feed the EQ in, and we'll do the same on this one. And the output from this was feeding these compressors. So let's do the same thing here. Let's take the output and let's feed the compressor. So this is what we're doing at the moment. So we're replacing these two blocks. So boom. Right. And now what we've got down here is we've got a bunch of controls that we no longer need. So we don't need this high frequency and low frequency. What we probably need instead is we're also going to put a meter in here as well. so that we can keep an eye on what's happening with our we're going to keep an eye on what's happening with our level coming back from the output. Let me just have a look here, just so I get this right. Right, so we need to add in, let me just have a look here. Right. So what we're going to do is we'll add in the metering at the moment, right now. So what we need is we need some bridges here. So what the bridges do is they convert from an audio to control signal. So let's put 2 of those in. And then what we're going to do is that because we want gain reduction to show on these, what we're going to do is we're going to basically mirror these with a control math multiply block. So let's do control multiply. Let's just move these down a little bit. That's better. Again, let's add another one of those. And then, so we can set these up now. So we set this to -1 and this to -1. Oops, sorry. -1 and this to -1. And then we want some monitors here. So they're in the interface, and we're going to do some H monitors. Okay, so we're going to feed these from these compressors. So the compressor, we're going to take it out of the log gain. Take this one out of this log gain. Down to here. Let's just wire these up. Into there. Into there. Right, and let's just give this a different name. So let's just call this left CMP. We might do %2 0.1F, and we'll do the same here. So this is right compress, and go %2.1F. Okay, we'll wire that up shortly to where that's got to go. So this is basically what we're doing here is we're working out how much compression's been applied. Okay. Oh, hang on. One thing I forgot to do here. This is something I learnt the other day. If you don't feed a continuous signal into H monitor, it breaks things. Put in a detector, a peak detect. We'll probably put it up the front here. The reason for this is if these H monitors change too fast, they can crash emote, which we don't really want to do. So let's just send these down here and then send that across to there. The defaults on these are fine, so we don't need to change those. Okay, so that will stop the H monitors from crashing everything. Right, let's just neaten them up a little bit. Okay, next thing we can do is we can get rid of, so these tone controls, Alt. Right, we don't need any of these blocks that we have here, so let's just delete all these. You can go, and we'll do the same for this one. Okay. So we're also not going to need menu 3, so we can get rid of that one. Now, what we want to do is we want to add some controls for our EQ. So you can go as well. So let's just bring these EQs over. Okay, so you can see what we've got here: frequency, Q, the boost, and the type. So we're going to set the types to 1. So if we have a look at what this is, let me just, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see the module documentation. Nope. Let me just read it out to you. So the type 1 is a peaking EQ. So 0 is low shelving, 1 is peaking EQ, and 2 is high shelving. So we're going to set these as peaking EQs. So we want to set the type for both of these to 1. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to set up a single knob that is going to control the EQ gain. Okay, so let's get, I'll do this. I was going to take a shortcut here, but I better do it the proper way so that you guys can see. Okay, so let's stick this in here. So this is going to be the EQ gain, and this, oops, this is going to control the gain of both EQ blocks. So we're going to make this have a range of -18 to +18. And we're going to give it a resolution of 0.1. We're going to start with it on 0. And the statement that we're going to use is this one. Okay, so this is going to set up EQ gain is what it's going to show. And then it's going to be, we got percent and we got up to 5 complete values and 1 decimal place. And then the F puts whatever your fraction is, and then decibels. And let's call this EQ gain. Okay. So what we need to do with this, first of all, it needs to be wired into menu 2. So let's put this in as a first object on menu 2. And we're going to wire this to the boost on both of the EQs. Where are we? Down here. Right. So now that now controls the EQ on both of those, controls the boost on both EQs. Okay, the next one that we're going to do, we're going to control the left and right frequency separately. So just for you guys that are out there, I've already put a video up of this EQ. of this delay. Yes, dub delay, with it in the EQ format. So this is, I'm basically just going back and showing you how I built that algorithm so that you can follow along from where we were. Okay, so we need another couple of knobs here. We need a left frequency and a right frequency. So again, we'll just use knobs here. Actually, it's probably easier if we just do one and then we copy and paste it. So this is, let's just call this one left frequency. And oops, use this for the statement. And we're going to control from 50 Hertz up to 5,000 Hertz in 50 Hertz lots. And we're going to we'll start this off at 2000. Okay, even though the resolution is at 50 Hertz, you can actually type in numbers in between. So you can have higher resolutions by typing the number in. This is just for when you move the knob, how quickly it moves. Okay, so let's just copy and paste this one and we'll call this right frequency because everything else is the same on them. Okay, so let's wire this one up to the left EQ frequency, which is that one, and we'll wire the other one up to the right EQ frequency. And then what we're going to do is we're going to wire these in as the next two sections on menu 2. Right, the next one we're going to do is the Q factor. So let's just move these down a bit. Let's move these down, keep it nice and tidy. Well, as tidy as we can, I guess. And again, we're going to use just one Q factor knob to control both EQs. So this one is called Q factor. We'll use this as a statement. So we'll run it from 0.5 to 10, 0.1, and we'll set it as 1 as a default. Okay, so that's the Q taken care of. So we'll just wire this into the next one on menu 2, and let's take this up to both of these EQs. All right, now when we deleted menu 3, we lost a few of our controls here, so let's wire these. What have we got here? So let's just wire these into the next threshold, and this one here is the ratio. So I labeled that one wrong. So we haven't touched anything on the compressor section, so that's all the same as we left it before. Okay, so that's, I think, everything fairly well done. Okay, so just a summary of what we've done. Well, actually, before we go to the summary, let's just tidy all of these up in terms of the numbering. Okay, so these, so we've got So we've got the menu pages is 1, 2, and let's set this one to 3. The way I'm doing this is control and up arrow or down arrow. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to try and, as much as we can, get all of these, get rid of all the little orange boxes. In fact, normally they've got this info text as number 1 on the default algorithms. It doesn't seem to matter at the moment because we can't write stuff into the head to be able to show up in the info pane. So I'm just writing an extra. Let's just get rid of this and let's just put it in a menu page. Oops, in a menu, sorry. Oh yeah, that's what we want, menu page, and we just want one in there. Let's just call this info. So this will show up, this info block will just show up nicely on a page. Just show up nicely on the emote and on the window in the H9000. All right, so I'm going to drop all of these knobs back to low numbers. Set that to 3. We'll set this one here to 2. Right. So 4. So generally what I try and do is try and do it in the order of what we do. So the next ones are going to be, this one here can be 5. The reason I do this is because I want, basically as much as possible, I want the parameters to hit the block that they need, as you know, so it needs to be ready for when the signal hits these blocks. So 5, and then pretty much the rest of these. So let's do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 15. Let's bring these ones down. All right, so the only one that we've got that's out of order is when the compressor feeds back into the inputs, which we can't do anything about. So, but that's okay, because that means that this will grab the next sample, or the next time the sample goes around. So these will run, send their stuff out. The signal will come back into the compressor, and whatever the signal was there will get caught on the next time around for these ones here. Okay, so just a summary of what we did. So where we left off last time, we've now replaced the tone control with a much more useful parametric EQ band. So both of those are set to peaking, basically peaking filters. And we've changed the controls. So now we've now got a EQ gain control that controls the boost or cut in both the parametric EQ filters. We've got separate left and right controls, and we have a common Q factor. So this should make it much easier to control. So we can do those sweeps with the left and right as it's repeating around the dub delay. So we can sweep them left and right and get those lovely stereo effects, but it reduces the unnecessary control. So the gain, we've ganged it. I mean, if you don't want to gang it, add a separate control for the other EQ. But generally what we find when we're running live is that the left and right, we just want to control those and have these settable together. And that's pretty much it. So this is now ready to be output. This actually has got some extra things in it from the previous one I did, because we've now got this peak detect in here, which we didn't have before. Actually, looks like we've got a few other things that we need to sort out here. So let's just do that. Oh, these monitors need to go back. into here. So let's just sort these out as well. You're going to have to be a much higher number, so let's... So what I'm trying to do here, just for everyone's information, is trying to set these up as just trying to get the order right, so that as much as we can, we can't do it perfectly, but as much as we can, try and get rid of all these little orange blocks. So these numbers that we've got at the bottom here are the order that the blocks are executed in. So it always starts at 1 and then it counts all the way through until the last block. So in this case, it goes through to block 48. And yeah, so that's the order of operation. So as much as possible, we want the signal to flow through. We don't want it to wait around for the next loop to pick up the value from before. So okie dokie. That's just for SK knob. So this takes the output and puts into the control end. So they're always going to be out of order. All right. So yeah, there we are. That's the final VSIG. I'll put this up on the website. Hopefully this gives you, you know, a complete patch now. So this is essentially the identical patch to that I've released previously, the para dub delay. So if you go through the 2 tutorials, you should be able to build it. And yeah, sorry, this has gone on for a little bit. I was hoping this is going to get under 10 minutes, but there was quite a bit to do, as it turned out. So yeah, this hopefully gives you a little bit more insight into doing some of the VSIG programming. I'm going to be doing some more of these in the future about, you know, different types of VSIG programming now that I'm getting a little bit better at it myself. Yeah, getting the hang of it. So I'll put this VSIG up as well as the original and the algorithm is up there, and I might actually update the algorithm that I've got now that I've fixed up this potential crashing issue by adding the peak detect in. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Sorry, this has been a bit of a long, rambling one. The programming, VSIG programming can be a little bit dry, but I hope that I've explained what I've done as I've gone. I've just sort of tried to, you know, I've been doing a lot of thinking and not so much presenting. So I, yes, have perhaps gone silent for a few bits. I'll try and, if there's anything that I can get rid of in the edit, I will. But yeah, look, hopefully this gives you a bit more insight as to my thinking when I'm doing programming these VSIG algorithms. And look, there's going to be some more to come, particularly as I learn more. All right, guys, thanks a lot. As always, if you want to support me, please head on over to Buy Me a Coffee, and the link will be down below. And yeah, keep, you know, hit the like and subscribe buttons and do all that biz that, you know, you should do when you are on the YouTube channels, apparently. And yes, thank you very much. For the guys that subscribe and take out a membership over at Buy Me a Coffee, there is a lot of content that's over there. I'm trying to get, you know, an algorithm up every week or two. So that's something new for the subscribers, and yeah, exclusive content for people that, yeah, want to, you know, that help me out financially. I'm still saving up for a Mac computer so that I can do some more work on VST programming in the future, and also will help out with video editing. So doing these videos, I can take a bit of pressure off my door, and yeah, let the new M1 chip do its thing with DaVinci. All right, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.